Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. I appreciate you taking our time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. All appreciated, so thank you in advance. So today's episode, we're taking it back to the SNES. I've basically realized that there's not going to be a way for me long term to not have like consecutive SNES games. I'm trying my best to like keep a variety of games, but eventually it's not going to be anything I can do because there are so many of these games that mean so much to me that are on this system that I've just pretty much, we're just gonna have to accept it. Like that, SNES games and RPGs are pretty much gonna like be like 20 episodes in a row, but not yet. But this game is an SNES game. It is a game that I have played many a times. I've never actually beaten this game without the assistance of technology, if you know what I mean. But this is a legendary game on many fronts. I'm pretty sure you've played it, heard of it, enjoyed it, got frustrated by it. And we are talking about the one, the only Mystical Ninja, or its official title, The Legend of the Mystical Ninja, starring Goemon, or as he's known in America, Kid Yang, Kid Ying, and Dr. Yang. But yeah, this is one of those, first and foremost, this is a rental classic for me. So I rented this game, 94, 95-ish when we were in, I was in Macintosh, and, we were basically trying to find a game on the weekend that we could enjoy, that we could play, that we could have some fun with. And I'll tell you, the first reason why I rented this game was because I actually thought it was a sequel to Little Ninja Brothers, which was another game that I played for the NES that I really enjoyed, right? And so I'm looking at the case and I'm like, yo, this looks kind of like Little Ninja Brothers. And it does have a lot of similarities to it, but not so much as what we actually got. It was not what I was expecting back in the day. This game is great for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, co-op. So, we was already all in on that, right? So first player plays Kid Ying, or Goemon, as he's known in Japan, and also the 64 version. And then second player plays Dr. Yang, and essentially you're like a hero for hire / detective. You're basically the protagonist, in so many ways. And the cool thing that I noticed, like when you first start playing is you start off in this town, and there's like obviously all these enemies trying to fight you and stuff like that. But you can go into like every house, and that's not something that even today with games that you see. But like everybody, even if it's just something that where they kind of give you a hint on what you need to be doing, like the exploration side of this alone was always incredible to me, right? So just that every time you go to a new place, there's all of these places to explore. There's all of these mini games, and some of them are simple, like, you bet on something, or it's like horse racing, or, like a trivia thing. But then you have like actual like mini games where you're playing stuff like whack-a-mole, or, I don't know what the correct term for it is, like Arkanoid or Break or whatever, those type of games. But it was like if you wanted to get to a new area so you could find out what it had to offer. And then you have like the game goes into, side-scrolling platform mode, which is a little more difficult with two players than I remember. It was always like I probably could do this a little better if I was by myself, but then I wouldn't have the help when it was time to like fight bosses. And that's where you really need it, because the game isn't necessarily easy now. It's not hard, it's fair, but it's not easy. And it took me a minute when I was playing it for the video to kind of get back into the groove. There's a lot of things about the movement that I forget. Like, for example, when you press down, you can actually like slide on your belly, which is very important because you have to dodge things. But I always forget that you can do that, and so I have to die a bunch of times beforehand. And there's like really a lot of humor in this game. So whenever you have to travel from place to place, there's always like, a way to travel. You can travel in style, but it costs more, which you need the money because there's like a River City component to it where you need to be able to buy, life and power-ups and defense, and, you can get extra moves. There's just a lot of stuff that you can do in this game. And I was, this is one of those games where I rented it and realized like, hold on, this is a lot more than what I thought it would be. I thought this was going to be like a one-time thing, and this turned out to be, a very, very, very important game for my childhood. Just a lot of weekends playing it, trying to beat it. Like I said, never beat it as a kid. Went back later on, with the help of save states and whatnot, and finally work my way through it, because the password system is preposterous, to say the least. Like, there's no way I was gonna write that password down as a kid. Like, there was too much going on. Like, I don't know. It's like 28 characters, but then some of the characters you don't use, just depending on where you at. And I was just not gonna be able to do it. So we had to do it. We had to do the hard way out here. And it was a fun game. The bosses get progressively harder, but there's always some sort of trick. You can also throw your money as a way to do damage, and I always thought that was like a fascinating, like, just very different thing. Like, imagine playing Legend of Zelda and you being able to use, the rupees to do damage on stuff. Now, I'm probably sure that there's some version of Legend of Zelda where you can, and I just didn't play it because I haven't played all of them. But again, back then, playing this game, everything was brand new to me. Like, just the style of gameplay, the fact that you can level up your weapon and it changes to a whole nother type of weapon, all incredible. And then, of course, it did the thing that I always enjoy with these type of games, is there's like a carnival type level. Like, I'm always a big fan of the casino carnival stages in games. I don't know why. Maybe it's just, I want to go to those things, but I don't want to spend the money. So this is like my way to be able to do it in video game form. So for me, it doesn't get any better than Mystical Ninja on the SNES. There's just, there's never a bad time to play this game. Though it can be frustrating, it is a fantastic game. So if for some reason you have not played it, I do recommend you seeking this out. There's a few different ways you can play it. I'm pretty sure it's on like one of those like Nintendo services. But if not, you know what you got to do. But I'd like to hear your thoughts. If you have played it, did you beat it? Did you play it with somebody else? Was it annoying trying to get through some of the platforming with another person? Because, as the game progresses, although I didn't show it, it can get really, 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 really tough. Especially when like the stage starts to like flip sideways and upside down. Those are very difficult areas, especially if you got somebody else. But I'd like to hear your thoughts. Appreciate it. So as always, y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.